What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be sharing some sales that sold over this past weekend. I know in my previous video I told you guys I'm going to do kind of like a haul video and just share some of the items that I was able to pick up, because that haul was insane. I picked up about 10 Guitar Hero guitars, a bunch of electronics that sell for well over 200 bucks, so I know that you guys will be able to learn a ton of really good brands, especially in terms of electronics. I didn't pick up a lot of clothing at all that day, but I'm definitely going to still make that video happen. I'll either go live or I'll just do a dedicated video to that where I kind of just do like a thrift store haul. So drop a comment if you guys would prefer me to go live and just share those items that way, or if you just want a regular dedicated video towards it. Either way, whatever your preference is, definitely drop it in the comment section below. But like I said, in this video I'm just going to share some sales from this past weekend. I already dropped off everything that sold on Friday, on Saturday morning, so we're not going to talk about that in today's video, but stay tuned for another what sold video, because I know that you guys want to know you guys really do want to know how much these items are selling for, especially since I'm picking up some of these stuff for such a great deal. So definitely stay tuned for that. But if you haven't already, make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I got my phone, and my first sale that I'm sharing with you guys is this pair of A Solo boots. I believe these are called the Fugitive Gore-Tex boots. These boots are really dope, really good condition when I picked them up. A Solo is definitely a pair of hiking boots, so even if they are kind of rough, if you guys see them past some scuffs or some dirt, don't mind that too much, because buyers already know that, you know, they're going to do the same thing to them. So as long as the soles look pretty solid, it's not completely worn down, definitely still pick these up. And these actually sold for 80 bucks plus $12 shipping. I told you guys I'm moving away from having an entire store full of free shipping. Some of my stuff are still free shipping, especially if it's like a really lightweight item, like kind of like a video game or something like that, only just so that I can remain competitive within the marketplace. But most items nowadays I'm charging shipping, and I ship these out via pirate ship, so I spent right around $9 to ship these out. So I definitely made a little bit of profit in terms of charging a little bit more for shipping, so definitely keep that in mind as well. Next up, we got this Sony PlayStation 2. This one is one of the older ones, and I actually shared this in a video when I was actually testing this one out. This one worked really well, and it actually had this Sonic Unleashed game in the actual console itself, so that was kind of like a nice little surprise. So I just included that in the bundle as well, just to make it a little more attractive, and it sold the same day that I listed it. So clearly I priced it perfectly. Maybe I probably priced it a little too cheap. I know some people were listing their stuff for like 110 or maybe like 120 or 130, but I seen most of the sales, especially within the last 90 days, sold right around 110 plus shipping. So I went ahead and I did that, and I made a decent amount of profit, because I think I spent like 8 bucks for the console. I think I spent 5 bucks on the controller. The game was included with the PS2, so all in I was definitely under 20 bucks, so I made a decent amount of profit. Next up, we got this Amazon Tap, and I was actually thinking of keeping this just because it like kind of fits my office space, and it was going to be a nice addition to it, just so I could have a Bluetooth speaker. But these Amazon speakers, I find them pretty often, so I went ahead and I just listed this for $59.99. Once again, I've been running a 10% off sale, kind of like a Father's Day sale, since I'm going to be a dad soon, so I kind of just wanted to throw a little Father's Day sale in there, just 10% off, nothing too crazy. Sold pretty quickly, took maybe 2 or 3 weeks to sell. Next up, we got this Uniden cordless phone. I always pick these up, especially if I can find them brand new. If I see them used, I usually might pass on them, only because if they were used, they probably might not be working. And Uniden is definitely not one of those like really higher end brands that sell for a ton of profit. As you guys can see, this one sold for $26.99 with free shipping. I just went ahead and I shipped this one out already. I think that I was able to actually ship this out first class. This is actually really light. I think it was actually 1 pound, so that was a good thing. I still was able to ship it out first class, and I think I spent maybe 3 or 4 bucks on this one, so definitely a good sale. Next up, we got this Tommy Bahama shirt, and I only pick up Tommy Bahama shirts that actually have some type of embroidery or some type of print on the back. They have to have something special about it. Usually you come across Tommy Bahama shirts and they don't sell for much money, but this one in particular sold for 40 bucks plus $5 shipping. Originally had it listed for 45. Of course, that 10% off sale was going on this weekend, so it sold. It took me 2 months for this one to sell. It took a little longer than I was expecting, but it is what it is. And once again, I think I spent maybe 6 bucks for the shirt. Next up, we got this Monopoly Streets for the PS3, one of those games that sell really quickly anytime I can find them. I sold this game pretty often, so I knew this was going to sell for at least 15 to 16 bucks. Once again, free shipping for this one, and it sold sold during that 10% off sale, so it actually sold for $14.39. And like I said, anytime I come across any PS3 games or just about any video game, I'm not gonna say I pick up every single one, but as long as I can get it for right around $1 or $2, I usually will pick it up, and it usually would sell for anywhere between like 15 to 20. Sometimes they sell a little less than that, but it is what it is. It usually takes me like 2 seconds to take pictures of it, so it's a really easy item to list. Next up, we got this vintage Canon Sure Shot camera, and it actually came with the leather case as well, and this one sold for $49 plus $8 shipping. Once again, 10% off sale was going on, and this item in particular, it was flawless. It looked like it was brand new still. The person that had this clearly was taking really good care of this camera, so definitely glad about that. And anytime I find these vintage cameras, I usually spend anywhere between like $4 to as much as $8. I think I spent closer to $5 for this one, especially since it was such in a nice leather case, so wasn't mad about that. And it sold within about 2 weeks, so definitely a quick sale. Next up, we got this Phoenix Suns windbreaker, and this one was a starter jacket, and these jackets usually sell really well for me, and especially since the Suns are in the playoffs and they're doing really good right now, this one sold to somebody that's actually living in Phoenix. So I shipped this out on, I believe I shipped this out on Monday, and this one already got to the buyer on Tuesday. So really quick sale. I actually had this for maybe 2 months, but like I said, since the Suns are doing well, this one sold really quickly, so definitely happy about that. Next up, we got this vintage St. Louis Cardinals jacket, and this one is actually one of those diamond collection jackets. Really good condition, no major flaws. It did have a couple little stains on the back and like on the inside, but other than that, this jacket was in really good shape. Spent $5 on this jacket, and this one sold. It took maybe 2 months for this one to sell. I was expecting this one to sell probably closer to the fall or winter, but like I said, always glad when you're selling outerwear during this time of the year, because most people think they're not gonna sell at all. But if you guys remember, I picked up some leather varsity jackets from Miscellaneous. I spent a decent amount of money on those. I spent like $40 a piece. Some was even like closer to 50, and I'm selling those jackets. I sold 2 out of the 5. I think I sold those for like $250, and one I sold for $210. So definitely making some good profit on those, and I'm listing jackets now like crazy. So if you guys come across outerwear, definitely still pick it up, get it listed, get that money. Next up, this is something really small. We got this universal ceiling fan remote control. This one was brand new, and I think I spent either $3 or $250 on this, and it sold for $19.99 with free shipping. Once again, I don't do too much free shipping, but for stuff like that, you kind of have to do free shipping because everyone else is doing free shipping with this. Next up, you got a pair of Mizuno's, and Mizuno's definitely not a brand that I pick up pretty often, but this one was really clean, a good colorway, decent size. I listed it for $44.99 with free shipping, and it sold for $40 with that 10% off discount. I was able to fit this in a padded flat rate envelope, so I was able to save some money there. But once again, I don't pick up Mizuno's too often, but you just kind of have to do your research when you're picking up these shoes, because some models sell way better than others, and this one was just kind of I guess you could call this one a decent model since it sold for a little over $40. Next up, we got this Bose sound dock, and this is actually the Series 2, and the good thing with this one, it came with the power supply. Usually anytime I find any of these Bose speakers, I usually have to buy one, buy a separate power supply, or just sell it with no power supply, but I just prefer to sell it with it because you make way more profit that way. And I actually picked this up in that lot that I was able to find during that crazy thrift haul in that last video. I actually sold this the same day that I listed it, so I probably could have got a little more profit for this as well, maybe even charge shipping, but it is what it is. I picked it up for $12 with 20% off, and it sold really quickly. Next up, we got another game for the PS3, and this one is Fallout 3, and this one sold for $23.99. and the good thing is that it came with the slip cover, and it had the manual on the inside, so I was able to charge a couple bucks extra for that one. Usually anytime I find some of these games, and if it's missing a manual or it's missing the slip cover, or even if it's just the disc, you're definitely gonna have to charge a little less for this. But this one was complete, so I was able to get $23.99. And last but certainly not least, we got this Nintendo DS Lite. This one was actually the Legend of Zelda edition, and I picked this one up for $20 in the thrift, and I spent a little more than I usually would like to, but as soon as I seen this, especially in its condition, had to grab it up. This one sold for $150, and it took maybe 2 or 3 days for this one to sell. I think I picked this one up on Friday, and it sold on Monday, so really quick sale with that. I actually had an extra charger for these DS just like sitting around the house, so this was a really perfect find because the DS didn't come with the charger. And once again, you can always sell these items without the charger, but if you have the power supply, that just adds like an extra 20 to 30 bucks in terms of profit. So I'm glad I had that one on deck. And like I said, so super quick, kind of spent a little more than I would have liked to spend, but turning 20 into 150, I'll do that all day long. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We definitely just hit 20,000 subscribers a couple of days ago, so shout out to everybody that's been supporting the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. If you guys want to cop a consistency tee, I'm not wearing one right now, but if you guys stick around and watch the entire video, I got a little clip of some of the shirts that I have available right now in a bunch of different colors, so definitely check that out. It's the first link in the description, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit.